for us to decide what is the truth pertaining to this young man. You see, sometimes when you hear information, you don't really pay attention to what has been said in the beginning of the story. And as I always tell you, that the truth lies at the beginning. And the truth lies in this story from the moment Riley Strang touched down on Nashville soil and made his way into the Tempo Hotel and thereafter. Pay attention to everything that's being said during this broadcast. And then you tell me what you think is the truth pertaining to the disappearance of Riley Strang. News Nation is the source.
Now, we've seen a lot of video of downtown Nashville and the places where Riley Strang was last seen before vanishing, but there is video that shows Riley Strang walking in other places, video that has not been released to the public. Riley's family talked about it last night on this show. Police have shown it to them, but they are not releasing it to us. And we asked why they're not sharing it publicly, and they said that it's very poor quality, doesn't prove anything other than Riley was around the bridges where his phone pinged for the last time. I beg to differ because we got a much better description from a friend of Riley's family, Chris Dingham, who told us that it was captured by a surveillance camera high above the Woodland Street Bridge, and the timestamp on it is 9:57 p.m., which makes it the last of several videos to document Riley Strang's movements. The last, like that's it. It shows Riley walking under the Woodland Bridge and then stopping at that lamppost right there. And he stops for about 6 to 7 seconds, and this is where it gets important. He's seen doing something on his phone. And then he continues northward towards the second bridge close by. That's the James Robertson Parkway Bridge. And the last time he's seen on camera is when he passes this yellow sign just before he reaches that James Robertson Bridge. He's not been seen or heard from since. The part about him being on his phone is sort of fascinating because of a brand new theory that is circulating. People online have noticed that it has to do with the name of his hotel. When he spoke with his friends on the phone after leaving the bar on Broadway, he told them that he was headed back to his hotel, the Tempo by Hilton. Remember that, the Tempo. The Tempo is a 12-minute walk from Luke Bryant's bar, where Riley was standing after being kicked out. But it is a 12-minute walk west. You have to turn left out of the bar, down Broadway. See Luke's on the bottom there? Turn left down Broadway, 12 minutes, you're home. But for some reason, he took the red path up 3rd Ave. He walked straight north. Then he turned right on Church. And then he turned left along the river. Don't forget, he was visiting from Missouri, so he didn't know his way around. So there is a pretty good chance that he tried to follow a map on his phone to get back to his hotel. You know, directions. We all do that on our phone. There are 2 businesses in downtown Nashville, at least 2, that share the name Tempo. The Tempo Hotel, where Riley was going, and Your Tempo, a software company. And that company, Your Tempo, you guessed it, it is right past the 2 bridges where Riley was last seen. At least the video that we're told exists and that the family was shown by the police. When he stopped at that lamppost to look at his phone, was he looking at directions or a map that would take him to the Tempo business instead of the Tempo Hotel? Which would mean he wasn't wandering aimlessly, he was going to the wrong Tempo. And remember the timestamp that I mentioned, 9:57 p.m. Riley's phone last pinged 1 minute later at 9:58. That would have been right after Riley walked under the James Robertson Parkway Bridge.
Let's hear that again.
Aimlessly, he was going to the wrong Tempo. And remember the timestamp that I mentioned, 9:57 p.m. Riley's phone last pinged 1 minute later at 9:58. That would have been right after Riley walked under the James Robertson Parkway Bridge. Did he turn the phone off right then and there? Did he fall into the river right then and there? Or did he run into trouble right then and there? There are a couple of other theories that are getting some attention tonight. There's a car that is spotted near Riley in each of the surveillance videos. And some observers think that that same car is following Riley. We had taken a look at the videos, and we've looked at them, and we've looked at them, and we've looked. It's kind of impossible to tell whether it's the same car in all of the videos. And even if it is, that sort of a kidnapping is really hard to reconcile with every other data point that we've been able to put together. Nashville police are not commenting. We've invited them again on this program. They have declined again. There are also questions about the 911 call that was made from Riley's friends following the afternoon on March 9th. Take a look.
Okay. What is his name? His name is Riley Strain. Riley, R-I-L-E-Y, Strain, S-T-R-A-I-N. Okay. Is he white, black, Hispanic, Asian? He's white. He's white. 22-year-old, 6'5", blonde. Okay. And what was he last seen wearing? Outside of Luke Bryan's bar last night at like 10, and then the last time his location on his phone was by the sheriff's office at like 11 p.m.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation now. And following the afternoon on March 9th. Take a look.
Okay. What is his name? His name is Riley Strain. Riley, R-I-L-E-Y, Strain, S-T-R-A-I-N.
Braden Boss.
Okay. Is he white, black, Hispanic, Asian? He's white. He's white. 22-year-old, 6'5", blonde. Okay. And what was he last seen wearing? Outside of Luke Bryan's bar last night at like 10, and then the last time his location on his phone was by the sheriff's office at like 11.
How could Riley Strain be in two places at one time? Please explain that to the queen. Mr. Boats, you're the one orchestrating this phone call to 911. Is there something you want to tell us? Because Nashville time is going to be on the same time as Missouri time. Queen has chopped it up. So it's not like this is a time difference. Why were you all watching where he was going? Were you calling him and he wouldn't answer? Snapchat. See, I don't know much about Snapchat. Don't care to know. What I'm curious about is what is really going on with you all and this man? Because the operator's asking you when the last time you saw your friend, and you said outside of Luke Bryan's bar, but we know that you didn't see him outside of the bar. Checkmate. Because he was already gone. Checkmate. Now let me jog my memory back. It was 9:30, 9:35, 9:40. And one could say, well, anybody can make a mistake. Can you? Because if you're clocking this man, that means you're watching him and you knowing where he's going. Help us understand what is really happening on March 8th, because I'm utterly confused. I'm going to say it again, Mr. Boss. How is your friend outside of the bar at 10, but he's on video at 9:58, 9:57, 9:57, phone pinging at 9:58. Then you have the nerve to say, oh, by the way, his phone shows him by the sheriff's office at 11 p.m. So how far is the sheriff's office to that bridge, last bridge? How far is the sheriff's office from that bridge? Wow, 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 wow. You see, this is why I keep telling people, you got to pay attention to the details, because everybody keeps talking about that river, the river, the river. Well, so far, nobody's popped up. They've searched the dam in a whole other jurisdiction, shut the dam down, different people coming with boats, people searching. But are you all really going through that stuff and trash? Because in order to get into the belly of the beast, you got to get gritty with it. You got to get grimy with it. So are you all actually going through the trash on that mountain? I'll wait. Say it again, Queen, 'cause they ain't listening. Are you going through the trash on the mountain? Are we missing something that's been sitting there in our face all along? You see, a lot of people don't like to dig deep into a story. They only like to listen at he said, she said. That shit don't mean nothing because right now everybody's got a version about a shirt, vomit, this and that. I talked to him. I saw him throw up, blah, blah, blah. Now we got him walking with the shirt still on. So now there may be some debunking of the guy who allegedly had the shirt. The woman who saw him in the shirt. My understanding, the shirt is black and tan, not black and white. Checkmate. Sells for $30 on Amazon. But as I told somebody tonight, you probably could get the shirt anywhere because people, donate stuff. They resell stuff. Stores buy out other stores. So who knows where his shirt came from, how he got it, and how this alleged homeless man got it. Some people are upset because they feel like the homeless are getting a bad rap without proof. Now we got a black car allegedly. Some TikToker, whomever, black guy thinks the car's following them, but you don't have anything on film of anybody jumping out the car, chasing them, dragging them in, luring them in. So you got to have proof. But the one thing we do have is this 911 call. And if you all are clocking him by Snapchat, you should know authorities are attempting to get into his phone to see who he's been talking to, texting. Oh, yeah, that's right. Some lady says 2 people on the phone talking to him saying he was all right, he's okay, we got it. Now you get information there's another Tempo. That's a business. But when I Googled this other Tempo, it's a coffee house. So help the Queen understand. And it's 31 minutes away. Uh-oh. Say it again, Queen. Are you sure there's 2 tempos? Or is there more than 1 tempo, 2 tempos, 3 tempos? Because the tempo I Googled is 31 minutes away. It's a coffee house, closes at 2 o'clock. Is that the same tempo you're talking about, Banfield? I don't know. When is somebody going to tell the truth about what happened at the bar? Because Daddy don't want to talk about that. The Facebook page, is that his actual page or it's a dummy page? I'm curious. People talking, commenting. I don't recommend commenting on people's Facebook pages, whether they're dead or alive. I don't do that type of stuff. It's not a good idea. It's not a good look. Only 57 friends, if that's the real Riley Strain's Facebook page. But all his other friends got a couple of hundred friends, thousands of friends. We also noticed, me and Miss Hagan, one of the commenters in the chat, that all his friends got friends of friends and different types of friends, but some of his friends are older. Just curious. Yeah, sometimes you got to go in the belly of the beast to get to the truth because I don't think somebody wants the truth to really be told. Now, I'm not here to point fingers, but Mr. Boutts, your frat brother cannot be outside of the bar at 10 and over by the river at 10. So help me understand why you told the 911 operator that. Or you just coming off a high drunk and you don't know. But then that doesn't make any sense because allegedly you're tracking him with the Snapchat. So we're going from 10 to 11. So if his phone really pinged at 11, where's the video footage of Riley Strain walking by the sheriff's office? Checkmate. Or is it somebody else, with Riley's phone at 11 p.m.? So Nashville police, you know Banfield ain't gonna give up. So you better go ahead and produce the sheriff's office video of somebody walking by that sheriff's office looking like Riley Strain, or we gonna have a problem. Why haven't you all returned the phone calls? Why did these people call and say it was going to voicemail, their tips, and nobody's called them back? Or is it the police knows more than what they're willing to tell or yet to tell because maybe what you've been hearing pertaining to Riley Strain ain't the truth? Shut your mouth. Wow, wow, wow. You see, the beginning of the story is at that bar. And possibly it goes before that. Because one, we don't know Riley Strang. We don't know his temperament. We don't know his attitude. We don't know if he's a drinker, non-drinker, medium drinker. You don't know if he used drugs, popped drugs, took something that night, Xanax, if he's on medication. All those things are factors to get to the truth of what happened in the bar. You keep changing the story, Luke 32. Why is that? You see, when you first came out and told us that you asked him to leave, you left out some things, which I already knew that anyway, because I'm 53 and I'm not a dodo bird. See, the truth needs no explanation. You tell it one time and you don't need to repeat it. You've added front door, back door, side door. Hagen says it only got 2 doors. His conduct was not up to par. So you asked him to leave. Then we hear he was trying to pay a tab. Then we hear you walked him down the stairs with his homeboy. Then the homeboy came back upstairs. Don't even get a timeline. Don't even get a video. Now we got from Chris Dingman, the family friend, godfather, that he was trying to help somebody. So let me back it up for just a second because I'm confused. So he walked to the bar to pay his tab. Hi, how are you doing, sir? I'd like to pay my tab. Oh, no, you don't have a tab. Oh, and by the way, I want you to get out of here because you're drunk. And then somewhere in the midst of that conversation, he was trying to help somebody. When are you all going to stop this bullshit? When are you all going to stop this bullshit? Just stop it. Because somebody is lying. And I said this, excuse me, before, it's the bar, it's the friends, the way it's looking. I'm 2 for 2 right now.
Thank you for watching.
I'm 2 for 2 right now that it's looking like 2 sets of people are lying. Now we got another story. Man rescued from the river embankment in search for Riley. So let me guess, he fell in the water? I don't know. What's really going on in Nashville? Because it's some funkiness. And Nashville's going to get a bad rap because of this nonsense. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL. Let's hear what you have to say about the poll about this young man. Because somebody's not telling the truth. And then we got to ask ourselves, is somebody trying to make you all think he's in the river? Uh-oh. Is the last video with Riley visible? Is this the last one? 23% says yes. 23% says no. Uh-oh. 55% of you, you're not sure. You know why you're not sure? Because the story keeps changing. They keep adding something extra, adding a video. You know what's going to be crazy if we see a video of him daylight savings time? And that would be a wonderful thing. It'll be a puzzling thing, but it'll be a wonderful thing for his friends and family. And then the next question you're going to say is, okay, what the hell's really going on? So someone said to the, hey, is this an issue of somebody wanting people to think that he's in the river? So then that means somebody would throw the card deliberately down there. One commenter said, could it be that he was throwing up and the card fell out of his pocket? He tried to reach for the card, slid down the mountain to his death, drowned. Could be. I mean, anything's plausible. But where I have the problem is the testimony from the friends and Luke 32. Now, naturally, Luke 32 shouldn't have any investments with these frat brothers and vice versa, but we know that when there's a common cause and people's reputations are on the line, oh, people will lie and they do not have to know one another. Shut your mouth. So, Mr. Boss, I'm talking to you. Why did you say that boy was outside that damn bar at 10 o'clock? Because I got a feeling You hadn't even made it outside 10 o'clock. Let you tell it, y'all got separated. Every day was a different version pertaining to Riley Strain. Every day the news came back with something extra y'all had to say about Riley Strain, which I find so troublesome. We got separated. Well, I don't really know that's the truth because you see, I didn't hear the conversation between you and your friend. I don't really know what happened in that bar, but as I told people, you might need to know who Riley Strain is to get to the bottom of the story because you see, everything starts with him. Who he is, what he's about, his temperament, his attitude, his friendship. Did he like these people? Did they like him? Did they really get along? Everybody. Why would it take you all 16 hours to call 911? Mr. Chris says you called the mother at 10 in the morning. So how do you go from 10 o'clock to almost 2 o'clock to call the police? Let me guess. You wanted to wait till everybody got up out of bed. Y'all got together, and then all y'all went down there to the precinct to say he's missing. Interesting. But yet you came back that night and realized he wasn't in the room, which means he probably shared a room with somebody. Then we heard you say something about a key was missing or found. Or are we saying that he left his key behind in the room? That's the new version. So he left his key in the room. So let's chop that up. He left the key in the room because what? He's sharing the room with somebody and he didn't feel the need to take his key, or he's just forgetful. See, this is why I said you got to know who Riley Strain is. Keeps a card in his pocket, his boot, front pocket, back pocket, front pocket, shirt pocket. Forgetful, don't take the room key. Oh, I'm hanging with my homeboys. I don't need the key. They got a key. I get in. How many times did you all call Mr. Strain's phone when you exited out of Luke 32? Where did you go after Luke 32? Did you continue to bar hop? Oh, you also told us that you searched for him for 9 hours, but you know that's a damn lie. Ain't nobody drunk. Searched for nobody for 9 damn hours. Because we don't even know what time you left the bar, number one. We don't know how many bars you went to after that. Did you go to Waffle House, IHOP to get something to eat? I'm sure you were hungry. Come on with it, Queen. They ain't listening. When are you all going to tell the truth about what happened in that bar? Because the truth starts at Luke 32 or before. Say it again, Queen, because they don't hear you. The truth starts probably back at Mizzou. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You see, you don't know people. I was kind of thinking maybe this young man was in his feelings. All this walking around and bebopping around. 1 minute he seems impaired, the next minute he doesn't seem impaired. He straightens up when he sees a police officer, perhaps. No way I believe he sobered up in 15 minutes from Luke 32 to where the police officer was over by the river. You don't really know what you're seeing. You don't really know what to believe. You don't know if anybody really had a conversation with him or not. How would you know? You're not there. And it's easy for people to also make up stuff. And I'm not here to say that any of these people are lying, but somebody's not telling the truth. And it's up to you to decide if you care about what's the truth. But I knew when I started hearing the different times that he left the bar, it was going to be some SHIT. Because I know people. And I know that when people have something to lose, people have something to hide, they will lie. So I'm going to ask Luke 32, the bartender, why did you ask Riley Strain to remove himself from your establishment? Because I refuse to believe that he was the only inebriated person in that bar. So you asked him to leave for a reason. Now we're hearing that he was trying to help somebody. Help whom? A girl? A man? Somebody was arguing, disagreement? Why do we keep getting extra stuff added to the story? I don't understand. Because usually When we add stuff, it's because we have a fear of the real truth coming out, the actual conversation, the actual footage. And that's something else we have not seen from Luke 32. We have not seen him enter the bar, his state entering the bar, his disposition while in the bar, and these people escorting him out of the bar, his behavior in the bar. Why not? Because your word to me is not good enough. Because that's all I'm hearing about this story is he said and she said, and I don't rock what he said, she said. And like I said, I'm not here to say that any of these people are lying, but I am saying somebody's lying. So there you have it. So maybe we need to steer away from the river for just a second, because that seems to be a lot of people's motivation. It's the river, but the river is telling you perhaps he ain't here. You gonna make him be in the river? Because that's the easiest explanation. He fell, he stumbled. Well, then you gotta go back to the beginning. Why is he even over there? I'll wait, because nobody has an explanation. Now you want to come up with another tempo. He was Googling. Well, he had time to Google when he allegedly he couldn't make it out of the second bar. See, it's too much to grapple with. Why was he even over there? There's nothing over there. There's no food trucks, no entertainment, no nothing. So now we're supposed to believe he Googled tempo and this other business came up. But when I Googled tempo hours ago, it's a coffee shop. So which tempo is she talking about? Or there's now a tempo number 3. I'm confused. They also have live entertainment, but that's not what she said during this broadcast. So help me out. 1 minute they've been there before. Now it's, he doesn't know his way around. Does he know his way around? I don't know. Because I don't know Riley Strain. I don't know what he knows. I don't know if he's been there before. Allegedly he has, but like I said, he could have walked the avenue before, checked out some things, learned his way around downtown. See, my mind is telling me that perhaps he was upset when he couldn't get in the second bar. And I'm still trying to understand the mindset of a guy getting kicked out of a bar to go try to bar hop somewhere else without his friends. That would seem kind of lonely, don't you think? Now we're hearing allegedly the other guys were at that bar. So were the other guys at that bar? The other guys that went on the trip? Or he was just trying to find somewhere to bar hop? But don't you think his feelings would have been hurt getting kicked out of a bar out of town? Number one. Number two, going into another bar and being denied. So that means he was actually drunk, inebriated. So don't you think he would really be pissed off? So he's slumping around drunk, confused, turning about on the street. 1 minute it looks like he's using his phone stretched out. Now they're saying he was using it again over here at this last bridge at 9:57. What is the truth? I'm going to say it again. Was he angry, upset, embarrassed, humiliated, felt some type of way, felt abandoned, felt neglected? And we know that when you drink a lot, you come down from drinking and you can perhaps get in your feelings, get depressed. Many people do. Many people start to cry. They start to complain. See, the one thing you're not hearing about this story is the obvious. Who is Riley Strain? Right now, you're just hearing a bunch of people talking circles. Talking about what they said, what they did, what they saw, but we ain't got a damn receipt to nothing but a few video clips. Now we got a black card thrown in there. Now we got 9:57, 9:58. Then we got this 911 call that contradicts the video clips. Conversations from his friend saying he was outside the bar at 10. He couldn't have been outside the bar at 10 because he's already over at the bridge at almost 10 o'clock. So, Mr. Boss, why are you lying? And you know they're going to check his phone, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Facebook, IG, whatever. So how are you going to explain making this shit up? Or are you going to then tell us, oh, I was drunk. I didn't really look at it. My bad, I made a mistake. That's what you're going to hear next. You see, there's a young man who has a YouTube channel. He was on today, and they dive in the water and ride on the boats to look for people, so on and so forth. And he decided to take a card and throw it from that general area where his card was found. Well, I think you already know the gist of the story. That card didn't go nowhere. He took a random card, like a debit card, and threw it over the rail. And the card didn't go nowhere. It didn't even make it from the top of the ridge where they were standing. So now we got to try to figure out why that card ended up way down there on them rocks. And water was high during the time he's walking under the bridges. So if he slid down, fell down, weighted down, which I doubt he weighted, because that's too dangerous, somebody trying to drag him down there to weight him down. He accidentally fell in or pushed over the rail and rolled down, however you want to word it. You got to say what? The card was in his pocket, front pocket, fell out, he drowned, he's somewhere in the water. But then you got to know Riley Strain to say he's the type to keep his card in his front pocket, back pocket, or shirt pocket. And then you got to also ask yourself, well, why would his card be out and not in his wallet? So where is his wallet, his phone, his watch? Yeah. 1,001 questions and no answers. Because that's usually what happens when things go bump in the night. You don't get an answer. Because it's not meant for you to get an answer. Was this man pushed, fell to his death, and he drowned, and he's somewhere in the water? Did he willingly go in the water because he became depressed, upset, bipolar, sick, schizophrenia, on meds? Don't know. Did somebody lure him into a car, take him somewhere in the water, elsewhere? Don't know. I know he ain't downtown. I don't think he's downtown, because how are you going to conceal a 6'5" person by foot? You don't have a car. So that means you'd have to have a car. And if they checked the homeless camps, went through all the tents, covers, mattresses, they would have found him. They would have believed he wandered in somewhere and they just covered him up with a tarp, a sheet, a jacket. You understand what I'm saying? Did he try to take his own life? Because like I said, you don't know him. And everybody's betting he's in that water. And that water stretches for miles. So it's a matter of waiting for him to float up if he's in the water. But that's the point of this story. You don't know that he's in the water. You assume he's in the water because you have video footage of him walking by talking to a cop. Just imagine, had you not gotten that video, you wouldn't be talking about the river. You wouldn't know where to take this story. And then there's the ultimate scenario, the scenario that most people don't want to address. That Riley Strain went off the grid, either deliberately planned the trip to disappear, play drunk, play inebriated, play crazy, or became upset that his night wasn't going well, felt betrayed by his friends, associate, felt lonely, out of place, out of sorts, and just walked into the night. What is the truth? Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Well, Mississippi, it won't matter about being in the water with boots. If you're drowning, it won't matter. It won't matter at all. I don't know. They're saying there isn't any video of him going past the second bridge. Well, there's stairs to the left of the street. I saw like 3 sets of stairs. 2 stair landings that circle and meet each other. I guess it's by that court building. Then I saw another set of stairs that are steep. Could it be that he crossed the street and went up the stairs and wandered somewhere else in the city? I don't know. I don't know. If I planned to go back to the room with friends, I would have probably took my own car just in case I wanted to turn in early or if they were lagging behind. Well, see, that's the whole point of the story. You don't know Riley Strain to decipher anything that happened that night. And that's what I've been trying to make people understand. You are judging this story according to yourself. You are judging the story according to what you think you would do, what you think is best, but it doesn't work that way. You're talking about somebody inebriated, allegedly, so all bets are off on what somebody should and should not do, because every drunk person don't do the same thing. See, this is why I'm trying to explain to people. In order for you to get to the bottom of the story, to get to the gist of the story, to get an understanding of what the fuck happened March 8th, you have to know Riley Strain. And so far, I'm not getting a good idea of who he is. I've been over Facebook today. I went through friends of posts tonight. And there's just some things I'm seeing that seems peculiar, such as his friendships, older friends, not a lot of friends. If I'm wrong, I'll stand corrected. 57 friends. So you mean to tell me he doesn't have any high school friends? He doesn't have friends he made in college? I'm trying to understand what is really going on. Now we have a new video up. Witness confirms homeless man was wearing similar shirt. Well, can't nobody get the color of the shirt right. Black and tan, black and white, which is it? Sold on Amazon. And the people who think they know you don't really know you. Because you heard the cousin say that. That's not the cousin I know in that video. Well, maybe he never got pissy drunk with you before. You can only speak of the Riley that you know at the time when you last was around him and the few times you've been in his in his peripheral, but maybe you don't really know your cousin. Because you hear these stories all the time when people go missing and when people are unalive. You hear all kinds of things about them that you didn't know, because that's the point. You don't know people. So what you would do in this situation, he didn't do. Because we don't really know what he did and didn't do. We don't really know why he got put out of the bar, just that he was drunk. And we already know it's more to the story than he was drunk. You want me to believe that none of the other frat boys were drunk? Come on now. So, Mr. Bounce, why are you all not talking publicly about Riley Strain? Help me understand. Some commenter said, they don't owe nobody no explanation. They talk to the police and that's enough. Well, that's enough for you. You've got the godfather talking, stepfather doing the most talking, which is odd, mother talking, father speaking here and there. Well, where are the friends from the damn school? I'll wait. Where are the college students? Why aren't you all talking? We don't even get a clip of you all talking to the local news out there in Missouri. I would think by now somebody would have showed us a clip of you all talking. Have you had visuals out there? Why are we not seeing any of this? Facebook groups. Where is the conversation about your friend? You frat boys aren't talking. Why not? That's my brother. That's my homeboy. I love him. I miss him. I mean, not nothing, but they love him. Do you all know more about what happened to Riley Strain? Because I'm starting to wonder that there's more to the story than this homeless shirt and this homelessness and this vomit on a shirt and who talked to him last and where the phone pinged. Maybe somebody knows more about Riley Strain. Did y'all fall out in the bar? Did somebody say something to him? Did somebody follow him? I'm confused. Because I'm not getting ready to sit here and blame somebody from Nashville on this story unless there's a damn receipt. Because the people from Nashville, are they the ones spinning a lie about where he was? No, that's coming from Missouri. He was outside the bar at 10 o'clock. The cameras say otherwise. He cannot be in two places at the same damn time. So I'm going to ask you again, Mr. Boss, why did you tell the 911 operator he was outside the bar? He was not outside that damn bar at 9:57, 58, 55. He was already gone. And you also said his Snapchat puts him at the sheriff's department at 11. Well, if his phone got turned off by 10 o'clock, how is it pinging at 11 p.m.? Bingo card. Somebody better help me. So now you got to ask yourself, if that is true, then the phone turned back on. Who turned the damn phone back on at 11 o'clock? Uh-oh. See, y'all focusing on the wrong damn thing. You might need to quit worrying about that river, and you might need to worry about what's on ground. Because right now, you don't have proof of no accident, intentional homicide, and you might want to worry about what happened on top of the ground. Because something is off. Because if the police can prove that phone was turned back on at the sheriff's department, then that means somebody on foot or by car had Riley Strain's phone. And who might that be? Let's see what this nonsense is over here pertaining to Riley Strain. Brief, everybody. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the Vault Excel.
I want to bring in the person who first saw someone other than Riley wearing what looked like Riley's shirt. Sabrina Martin is a volunteer with Souls United, an organization that helps the homeless in Nashville, and she joins me live now on the phone. Sabrina, thank you so much for coming back on the program. You know, we're at day 13, and 11 days ago, you spotted the homeless person. We think maybe his name is Ross, wearing the shirt that looks like Riley's. We've had Chris Salisbury say that he now knows someone named Ross, a homeless man, was telling others that he got that shirt. He saw it hanging on a railing. It had vomit on it, and he picked it up, cleaned off the vomit, and started wearing it. You tried mightily to get a hold of the police. You called them. You were thrown into voicemail for the cold case unit. You then called Crime Stoppers. And as of, I think, yesterday when we talked to you, they hadn't called you back. Have they called you back yet?
They have. They called me yesterday afternoon.
Well, that is a real relief. Can you describe your conversation with them?
Yes, it was Detective Rowland who gave me a call. He first apologized for it taking him so long to get back to me. And then he just asked me to recount what I've seen. And then a description of the gentleman, what the gentleman was wearing in his bike. I also gave him the location, and then I gave him the contact information of 2 other volunteers that were with me that day. I confirmed with them last night that Metro Police did follow up with both of them as well.
And they were able to tell the story that they saw that homeless man wearing what looked like Riley's shirt as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So what about this man named Ross? When you and I first spoke, you told me that you had seen him before. It wasn't the first time that you had had an interaction with him, because you were often once a month, serving the homeless. Have you seen him since? Has anyone else seen him since?
To my knowledge, no one has seen him since. I haven't seen him since, but I have not been back to the homeless camp since that Sunday.
What's interesting about Chris Salisbury, who also made a report to us that he tried to get a hold of the police and was thrown into the cold case voicemail, is that he also works with the homeless, and he went down there to speak with several people, said he had reports from at least 3 or 4, maybe even 5 other people who said the same thing. A homeless man who goes by the name of Ross told them that he got that shirt, found it hanging on a railing, but he said that it was hanging on a railing sort of down near Broadway, which would be way, way south of where our red line, puts Riley. What's interesting is when Chris gathered that information about the shirt having vomit on it, you can tell me why that's significant though, right? The timing of when Chris Salisbury got the reports from the homeless people up near those bridges that Ross had said he got the shirt with vomit on it. Why was it significant, that timing?
To me, it was significant because the public, it didn't come out publicly that there was puke, on the shirt until I believe yesterday or the day before. Chris was actually down at the homeless camp getting the reports last week. So Thursday, Friday of last week.
It gives it even more credibility. It wasn't public. We hadn't had the report yet from the family that they had witnessed Riley vomiting over the barrier. But those homeless people had been talking about the shirt with vomit on it before that. Thank you for that, Sabrina. I appreciate it. Can I ask you one more quick question? And that is this area at 10 o'clock at night. Is this an area you would go alone at 10 o'clock at night where Riley was last pinging and seen on the video?
I personally wouldn't go alone downtown at all. I would definitely be in pairs or in a group. Go in that area alone at night.
Not particularly safe. Not to say that everybody in that area is dangerous, but there are definitely some trouble spots. Sabrina Martin, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done.
Let's hear it again, because something's not right. Make it make sense. Once again, how's this man pinging near 10 p.m. and this guy got the shirt on Broadway? Make it make sense. Let's start over.
You tried mightily to get a hold of the police. You called them. You were thrown into voicemail for the cold case unit. You then called Crime Stoppers. And as of, I think, yesterday when we talked to you, they hadn't called you back. Have they called you back yet?
They have. They called me yesterday afternoon.
Well, that is a real relief. Can you describe your conversation with them?
Yes, it was Detective Rowland who gave me a call. He first apologized for it taking him so long to get back to me. And then he just asked me to recount what I've seen. And then a description of the gentleman, what the gentleman was wearing in his bike. Also gave him the location, and then I gave him the contact information of 2 other volunteers that were with me that day. I confirmed with them last night that Metro Police did follow up with both of them as well.
And they were able to tell the story that they saw that homeless man wearing what looked like Riley's shirt as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So what about this man named Ross? When you and I first spoke, you told me that you had seen him before. It wasn't the first time that you had had an interaction with him, because you were often once a month, serving the homeless. Have you seen him since? Has anyone else seen him since?
To my knowledge, no one has seen him since. I haven't seen him since, but I have not been back to the homeless camp since that Sunday.
What's interesting about Chris Salisbury, who also made a report to us that he tried to get a hold of the police and was thrown into the cold case voicemail, is that he also works with the homeless, and he went down there to speak with several people, said he had reports from at least 3 or 4, maybe even 5 other people who said the same thing. A homeless man who goes by the name of Ross told them that he got that shirt, found it hanging on a railing, but he said that it was hanging on a railing sort of down near Broadway, which would be way, way south of where our red line, puts Riley. What's interesting is when Chris gathered that information about the shirt having vomit on it, you can tell me why that's significant though, right? The timing of when Chris Salisbury got the reports from the homeless people up near those bridges that Ross had said he got the shirt with vomit on it. Why was it significant, that timing?
To me, it was significant because the public, it came out publicly that there was puke, on the shirt. Yesterday or the day before, Chris was actually down at the homeless camp getting the reports last week. So Thursday, Friday of last week.
It gives it even more credibility. It wasn't public. We hadn't had the report yet from the family that they had witnessed Riley vomiting over the barrier. But those homeless people had been talking about the shirt with vomit on it before that. Thank you for that.
So let's go right there. Something's still not adding up. Why would a homeless man be talking about the shirt at all? So what? It's a shirt. You found a shirt. Big deal. Unless he had something to do with this man's death or he witnessed something and he just wanted to start building a story in case the story made national news. Local then national news. Are we talking about a man that maybe saw something or participated in a crime, but then that makes no sense? I participated in a crime or I witnessed a crime and I'm going to take the shirt from the person? This is weird to me. Make it make sense, everybody. And then you hear Badfield saying the shirt was far away than where he's been seen still wearing this shirt. So what is the truth? Are we talking about a shirt that's mass produced and it was similar to the one that Mr. Strang was wearing? But then someone would say, well, then we're talking about 2 shirts with vomit on it. I don't know. Quirky it is, I must say. But the point is, the shirt can't be in 2 places either. And that's where this story is bizarre. We're talking about a man who is basically being made out to have a doppelganger. That there's 2 Riley Strangs walking around on March 8th with a black and tan or black and white shirt with vomit on it. And 1 minute he's outside of Loop 32 at 10 o'clock. And then the next minute, his body is over by the river near the bridge at the same damn time. So don't you find you got 2 different versions of a man having a twin by 2 different sources? So somebody knows something. Because now you're talking about 2 different versions of 2 different times. So that means what? He walked under that bridge unseen, not on video, and took the shirt off, or the shirt was stolen. What are we saying? Then that'll lead you to believe he ain't in that river. So who you gonna believe? If nobody can produce a video, then you're gonna what? Believe the homeless man, believe the homeless people in the shirt with the vomit? And then where is the homeless guy? He now has just conveniently disappeared. And one could say, well, he knows something or he's involved, and that's why he's not being seen. That would be an interesting and a plausible assumption. He's involved. But I'm not gonna go put the shirt on knowing I hurt somebody. That would be stupid. Then you gotta say, well, where is the human that belongs in the shirt? Uh-oh, you didn't think about that, did you? See, nobody asks the pertinent questions. The shirt, the shirt, the shirt, the river, the river. But you ain't asking yourself, where's the human that's supposed to have the damn shirt on? Nobody ever questioned where he was without the shirt. Until now, this last video. This is why I know nobody's paying attention to the information. Why would his shirt be off for this man to have his damn shirt? I'll wait. Because if somebody hurt him, they a fool to walk around with the damn shirt on. I'm not going to walk around in a dead man's shirt. For what? He's a white man missing, college student. It's made local and national news, and I'm going to be walking around with his damn shirt on, and I just hurt him. I just robbed him. Make it make sense. This is why I say nobody thinks before speaking. And I'm not saying it couldn't have happened that way, but I wouldn't wear the shirt out in public. Vomit, no vomit. Knowing I either witnessed a crime or I'm the one that committed the crime. So did the boy take off the shirt at some point wandering around this damn city? So then you got to ask yourself, if you believe that, robbed, took off the shirt, then the timestamps on the cameras you've been seeing around the city, they're not accurate. Well, I'll be damned. 46 votes. Did a homeless man find Raleigh Strange's shirt? 34% yes, 23% no, 42% not sure. That's not good. Most of you are not sure that this man found this shirt. Because what you got to ask yourself, if he found the shirt near Broadway, why have we seen the man walking around that area with the damn shirt on? So when did he find the shirt? Lord have mercy. Did he take the shirt off the dead man's body? Well, that's the problem, sweetheart. You can't take the shirt off a dead body and the body's walking around. That's where this is a problem. The man says he got the shirt on Broadway. He's already left the Broadway area when he walked toward the river. So how would the shirt be on the body of a man, but then be in the hands of a homeless man? And why is this homeless man telling people about the shirt? So that's odd as well. Homeless people telling this Chris, oh yeah, he told us about the shirt, which is strange as well. Why are you talking about a shirt? What's the big deal about this damn shirt? Unless Riley gave him the shirt. So I'm going to ask you once again, do you know Riley Strange? Is this a hoax? He gave the homeless man the shirt. I don't know. But something is off with the story. So let's add it up, and then I'm going to check out of here. You have a friend putting him outside the bar at 10 p.m. when the cameras say he couldn't have been there outside of Luke 32. His phone pings at 11 near the sheriff's office. Don't know the proximity of the sheriff's office to that last bridge That means the phone had to be turned back on. Who had the phone? Riley or somebody else? How is a man having access to this shirt when the man who owns the shirt is walking around the city seen in the damn shirt? Why did it take 16 hours to call 911 when they returned back to the hotel, the FRAT brothers? What is this bullshit about a key found and left behind in the room? Who did he share a room with? How many times did you call his phone? How many times did you text? Did it go straight to voicemail? What will the phone data reveal about the interaction between Riley and his friends in Nashville, anybody else in Nashville, and also Missouri? This is how you're going to get to the bottom of the story. It's the data from the phone, because other people's phone calls should tell the truth. Because right now, you can't believe nobody in this damn story because it's not adding up. So now you got to ask yourself, are the cameras lying? Imaginary homeless man lying. This woman telling her version. The couple that said they saw him throwing up. The homeless people talking about the shirt and the vomit. The roommate talking about him outside the bar at 10. It's almost as if this is a Lifetime damn movie. If I didn't know any better, this was just a $2 espionage movie, because something is off with this story. And the fact that the father doesn't want to know what his son was doing in the bar, who said what, is bizarre to me. Because the truth is at the beginning of this story. Because had he not got put out of that damn bar, we would not be talking about Riley Strain. That's the bottom damn line. Drunk or no drunk. And some people believe nobody owed him anything. Nobody should have been responsible for him. He was a grown man. He should have taken care of himself. My theory is still, these were his friends allegedly. They should have been able to try to help him out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look after him. Why not look after your friend? Let's see this business about somebody in the water. Lord have mercy. It's one thing after the other. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Decide what's the truth, because somebody's not telling the truth.
With the United Cajun Navy. David, it's good of you to be back on the program. Thank you for this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, listen, Evan just alluded to something that seems to have just happened, that you're out searching for Riley Strain, and you've actually rescued someone else. Can you shed some light on what's happened?
Absolutely. So we had our boats in the water, and we're really just getting ready to start tonight's mission. And as the boats were more or less just kind of idling down the river, they heard someone on the riverbank calling for help. So they pulled over to the bank, and as it turns out, it was a 61-year-old man. He was a homeless man who had fallen from the top of the riverbank, which would have been about First Street, and it's about at least a 30-foot drop. It's very brushy and but almost directly vertical. So he had kind of bounced down, through the trees and the brush and stuff, and actually landed on the rocks right at the river's edge. Was unable to make some injuries to his arms and his wrists. But if we had not heard that, if we had not been here, he very likely would have passed.
That is quite remarkable, and I think really sort of underscores what can happen on those walkways and in that sort of thick brush up from the water's edge. If Riley had been stumbling, inebriated, trying to find his way, and some, a missed footing, it makes perfect sense that the 61-year-old man who fell and tumbled to 30 feet, maybe the same thing. Would you have been able to see by now in the area that Riley was last seen, with the times that we know, would you have been able to find in all of that area if he was on that riverbank at this point?
Absolutely. Well, I'm not going to say absolutely. Very, very high probability. That whole area, those riverbanks and the river along that area has been searched thoroughly over and over and over again. Nashville PD has searched it thoroughly. Their urban search and rescue department. I've actually met them out there and seen them going up and down that riverbank. We've had Nashville PD boats on the water, Nashville Office of Emergency Management, Tennessee Office of Emergency Management, Tennessee Fish and Wildlife. I mean, there was a number of private individuals have been in boats up and down this river. What Evan was alluding to a little while ago, we actually had some local residents who are fishermen and have boats, and they reached out and said, hey, look, we want to help in this. And they brought 4 of their own boats out on the river tonight. They were up here, or actually, I guess upriver here with us in the Nashville area, and then they have returned to the downriver area where we were and where Evan was earlier there at Lisa's Ferry. And they're going to spend a good part of the night tonight just searching along the riverbank and searching in, some of these coves or back eddies to see what they can find.
And we're seeing the live pictures of that, David. We're watching as those boats that you're talking about, you're Cajun Navy, you're the director. I want to remind people, this is a volunteer group. These people just put down whatever they're doing, whenever they're doing it, and they hit the road, and they come with their boats, whatever kind they have, whatever craft they have, and they join in the effort to volunteer to search for people who need. I do want to ask you this, if I can, David, and that is that it's been 13 days since Riley was last seen on video or his phone last pinged. If he had fallen into that river, what are the chances that we are going to find him?
Well, we will find him, and our position is always that we are on a rescue mission until we find definitively that it has turned into a recovery mission. And there's been cases of people disappearing and being found 3 weeks, a month later. So we don't cave to any kind of loss of hope or anything of that nature. We just always maintain hope. We're maintaining hope for and with Riley's family. And we're bathed in this whole situation. Actually, this whole area is, and our whole online community is just absolutely bathing this situation in prayer. And, prayer changes. That's what it's going to take to resolve this issue, is a lot of prayer and just a lot of diligent searching. So we're trying to fulfill both of those responsibilities.
Thank you for watching. Go to new.
All right, everybody. They're going to keep searching regardless. Make it make sense. Where is this young man? Is this a hoax? Take the poll, everybody. What if he's out here somewhere watching all this unfold? Ain't the world confused, disoriented, concussion? Then we have to ask ourselves, what is the truth? I'm going to repeat something I heard earlier when these people were gathering up on the walk above the river. And I don't know where this guy got this information, don't know what's the truth to it, so I'm going to ask it now during this live stream. Was the debit card cut off before or after? Lord have mercy. Because this guy says he said, I heard that the debit card was cut off. So I'm trying to understand what he meant by that. Where in the hell did he hear that? Cut off when? Cut off before it landed down there near the water? Shut your mouth. Anybody paying attention? Why would they be hazing him? You only haze when you're online. He's not online. He's been a member already. Hazing is for new prospects. I've never heard of anybody being hazed that was already a frat member or a sorority member. I've never heard of that. Now, you choose to get drunk and drink and guzzle down liquor or whatever, that's on you. But I've never heard of anybody being hazed as a member. I've never heard of that. Was the debit card cut off that night by Riley Strain? Because someone mentioned that in their video today. And I'm trying to figure out, where did he hear this information? What is the activity of that card? Was it an active card? See, it's too many questions, because a few people commenting are thinking outside of the box. They're not stuck on this river stuff. They're saying something don't sound right with that damn card. The card being found. That girl didn't show us the camera work that she found that damn card down there. You hear somebody screaming saying, "Oh, I found the card," but I didn't see her filming it. So what is going on? Do they know Riley Strain? I'm just asking. I'm asking all the questions, because the story is not adding up. And maybe there's a reason why the police is withholding this last video, saying it's grainy. Maybe there's a reason why they did not contact his family last week with information, because naturally it's an investigation. But something is off with this story, because now we've got he said and she said about shirts and vomit and vomiting over rails and 911 calls, and he was outside the bar at 10 o'clock when he's already over by the river. Then the phone's pinging at 11 o'clock off of Snapchat. So that means they have been watching his phone. You don't find this odd? Why are you watching his phone? Did any of the frat brothers meet up with Riley and they did something to him? Checkmate. I'm not here to accuse anybody. Homeless, frat brother, but something is off, because now you've got to say somebody is lying in the group of people giving their versions to the police and Banfield and YouTubers. You all better wake up. I don't believe everything people say because they run to YouTube, because they run to the news. You have a lot of sick, whack people who comment in the chat. They find people on Messenger to make up stuff. You all better wake up, because somebody's lying. So who is it? Is this a hoax? 48% of you are not sure. What do you mean? Why would he want to disappear? You don't know him, Bunny. Do you know Riley Strain to say why he would want to disappear? How do you know he's not depressed, has PTSD, bipolar, schizophrenia? How do you know he's not mad at the world? They say he just got a new girlfriend. Do you know him personally to say what he would and would not do? Well, I'll be bringing you a story later about Carly Russell, who exacted a hoax last year, and she only is getting probation now. She went to court yesterday in Alabama. So somebody would say the same about her. Why would she lie? Why not? What do I always tell you about why people do the things they do? You keep saying, why would they? Why would they? Why would they not do it? So what? His mother's crying on TV. So what? So what? People seem concerned. So what? You all don't know people. Do you know how many people have done this? Disappeared on purpose. And then somebody found them, or they walked out of the blue and popped up and said they were kidnapped, and they were not. I'm not here to say this is what Riley Strain has done. What I'm trying to get you to understand is the obvious. There's something off with the story. The shit ain't adding up to the video surveillance and the shirt and the shit that they're telling the police. Somebody is lying. So what you have to ask yourself is, why are these people making up stuff? A bunch of random strangers, but it's not adding up, because you got to have proof you talked to Riley. Somebody's going to know. Somebody wants this on camera. Well, show me you were talking to him. Show me your car driving by him, he's throwing up. Show me you have his shirt. Let's take the shirt and run the DNA. Now the guy's missing. You can't find him. And you all don't find that strange? Well, your mama's a schizophrenic. How about that? I don't think anybody's listening to the information. There's something off with this story. Yeah, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to make you understand somebody's not telling the truth. So you got to say, oh, well, the surveillance cameras that you're seeing, well, they're lying too. The timestamps are wrong. Could the timestamps be wrong? Let's just start there. The timestamps of the videos that you have seen, are they wrong? Are the timestamps wrong from the individual footage that you have seen? Number one. The frat boys lying about the Snapchat time, pinging at 11, him being seen outside the bar at 10, but yet he's over by the river at 10. You decide who's lying. A man found this shirt that's allegedly Mr. Strange's shirt. A woman said she saw him in it, feeds the homeless. Then we have allegations from people saying he told them about the shirt. Why, I do not know. So then you have to say, well, why would they lie? Why are they lying about some homeless man telling him he found the shirt on the rail? So then you have to ask yourself, well, what is the big deal about the shirt? Why is he going around talking about the shirt? Was he involved in a crime pertaining to Mr. Strange? Did he hurt Mr. Strange? Did he have an accomplice that hurt him? So he's making up stuff about the shirt because he knows eventually somebody's going to come start asking him questions. But see, then that makes no sense. Why would I hurt somebody steal their shirt? If I witness a crime, why would I steal the shirt? Now, we know that people will do weird stuff. Because as I always say, don't ask why, ask why not. And you do have some cold people who would see committed and take the shirt. Take the shirt off the dead person. Take the shirt off an injured person. But tell me how that card got down there on them damn rocks. Because the water was 4 to 7 feet higher. So the card could not have been there the week before. Let me say it again. No way that card could have been there the week before and the water was higher. So that means the card floated to that spot. It was planted there, or it was thrown afterwards by somebody. Something's off. Something is terribly off. Well, and that's what some people are saying, that the card looked too clean. So if it was under debris and leaves, what happened? The water went down and the card washed itself. Make it make sense.
Day or night, it doesn't matter. Search crews aren't letting anything get in the way of the mission to bring Riley Strain home.
The 22-year-old Missouri college student has been missing for nearly 2 weeks now. The United Cajun Navy put more boats in the water tonight, launching shortly after the sun went down. They set off from the area around Riley's last known location in downtown Nashville. That's on top of the other searches spanning the river today. Crews were downstream near Ashland City again, and the United Cajun Navy also searched several miles of the river, starting in West Nashville during the day. News 2's Sarah Smith introduces us to some of the volunteers involved.
Bob, search crews are out on the water right now. They say it's easier to see at night because of the lights on the boat. Tomorrow marks 2 weeks since Riley was apparently thrown out of Luke Bryan's bar. At sundown, the United Cajun Navy heads out to search the Cumberland River for Riley Strain again, tonight using sonar equipment.
The plan is for us to kind of go as close to bank on the river as we can, side by side, almost like a ground search in a field where everybody lines up and walks. We're going to do the same type of thing with the boats.
This time leaving from a boat ramp near Rock Harbor Marina in West Nashville, about a mile downriver from where Riley went missing. A group of fishermen joining them.
We're on the river pretty often, so we know these parts of the river. So we just figured it would help to have some local guys around to run around with them and see if there's anything we can do.
Crews bringing in dogs to help too.
I think we're gonna all get side by side in the boats with the dogs on the front of the boats and run up the river.
Other volunteers using thermal drones like David Berryman.
Hopefully provide some closure for them if it turns out to be the worst case scenario.
Each person involved in the search vowing to not give up until Riley is home.
Most of us involved in this are convinced that we've been called to this by God. And when he calls you to do something, he equips you to do it.
Another piece of information tonight, a witness apparently saw Riley throwing up over the railing along the river just before he disappears. Now the state's Alcohol Commission and police are still investigating all of this.
Thank you, Sarah. There was a much larger search in Cheatham County today. Several agencies were using boats, taking similar approaches to the searches going on in Metro today. They used technology to see what was underneath as they performed a grid search of the river, going back and forth like mowing a lawn. There are plans for a similar search in the area once again tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you all for taking the polls. Did the frat boys hurt Riley? 18% yes, 18% no, not sure, 64%. 22 votes. Mark it off. Mark off the card for what? I don't know what you're talking about.
2 weeks ago continues. The 22-year-old University of Missouri student was last seen after he was reportedly kicked out of a bar in downtown Nashville. Strain was visiting with his fraternity brothers for their spring formal trip when he disappeared, reportedly telling his friends that he was going to go back to the hotel, but he was last seen walking towards the Cumberland River in the opposite way. Is picked up on several surveillance cameras that night, including newly surfaced surveillance footage, which shows Strain briefly interacting with a police officer around 10 p.m. And while he doesn't appear to be in distress, there's this other surveillance footage that shows him running headfirst into a pole, then holding his head. That was just minutes before that. The couple has also come forward stating that they witnessed Riley vomiting over a rail. Again, this is believed to be before his interaction with that officer. And now, multiple homeless individuals are stating they saw a homeless man by the name of Ross wearing a shirt that was similar to the one that Riley was last seen wearing. This after he claims to have found it hanging over a railing. On Sunday, Riley's bank card was also discovered by a river not far from where he was last seen. The search is now expanding 40 miles to Ashland City. Metro Nashville Police are of foul play at this time, but obviously we have a lot of questions. And for that, I want to bring on News Nation correspondent Evan Lambert. He's been covering the case from Nashville. Evan, good to see you. So we're hearing that the family has reviewed this unreleased surveillance video of Riley near the bar. Do we have any updates on that? And by the way, was it near the bar?
It was not near the bar, no, Jesse. It was in the area right where Riley's last known pings were, where that body camera video is just a little bit north of there to the second bridge along Gay Street, if anyone is familiar, along the riverfront here of the Cumberland River. That's where that new video comes from. And I did talk with police today. They said that they haven't released it because it's not really great quality, but they already knew based on the cell phone information. The family, though, was telling us that they were grateful to know, just have one additional piece, knowing, putting Riley a little bit further up the road in the area where he was last seen.
And real quick, this whole thing about the homeless man named Ross, is that a credible lead or is it kind of off?
It doesn't seem so. What we've been told by a source is just that that is not verified at this point. It's something that the police definitely have heard. We asked them about it a couple of days ago, and they pretty much dismissed it because they don't find it credible. That story where a shirt was supposedly found is nowhere near where this video places Riley last, so it wouldn't make sense. You would have to have seen him on that surveillance video without his shirt on, which we...
And there you have it. The police does not believe the version is credible, plausible. Why? Why is that? As you hear this reporter saying, he would have been in the video before going out of sight without a shirt on. So what is the truth about these versions and the shirt? Because allegedly, we're getting from Chris that this conversation was going on a week before it made it to the news that people were talking about the shirt in the homeless camp. People talking about the shirt because the man told them about the shirt. So what is the truth about the damn shirt? So if you start there and debunk that those are lies, you've got the frat boys telling different versions about the time he was outside the bar and then his phone pinging at 11. Well, his last sighting is at 9:57. The phone turns off at 9:58. So how was his phone pinging at 11 p.m.? Make it make sense? I told you somebody's lying in this story. You have to decide who is lying and what is their motive for lying.
Clearly don't see.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your...
Police don't believe the shirt version because there's a reason why. And maybe the parents don't want to accept the fact that somebody's lying in this story and they have a reason for lying, because you're only lying because you know something, you did something, or you're just a sick fuck. Take your pick. But this is bad. This is really, really bad. And maybe this is why the police were not talking to them, because they did not want to hear any more versions about shirts and vomit, because they had already debunked the story and the theory. What is the truth? Because somebody's not telling the truth. And as I said, this story goes back to the bar, the same place that the bio father does not want to acknowledge something happened in the bar. And I don't understand why, because you see, sir, whatever happened in that bar is the reason why you are in Nashville, Tennessee looking for your son. Your son got drunk. Your son obviously got drunker than Cooter Brown. And he did not have good friends to walk him out of the bar and take him back to the hotel. And one thing for sure, if we're going to believe that he was throwing up through the night, he would have been throwing up in the bar. Stay woke. This is bad. This is really, really bad. Because somebody knows something. And it's going to be a shame if those somebodies are close to Riley Strang. Not a homeless man, not homeless people, not some thugs running around, but his own damn friends. Because they should have no reason to be making up shit to the 911 dispatcher. For what? You haven't seen him. So why are you making up stuff? Take the poll, everybody. Did he throw up and fall over the rail and then he drowned in the river? Take the poll. 55% of you are not sure that he was hurt by his friends. I'm going to keep asking, is this a hoax? Is Riley Strain alive somewhere watching this saga unfold? Does he know those TikTokers? Did he give them his debit card? Did somebody plant the card down there? It's a long way down the planet. Where is his wallet? Where is his phone? Where is his watch? And why aren't you all searching that debris on the mountain to see if his wallet, phone are in that stuff? Help me understand. What the hell is going on? Because something is totally off here. I'm not going to hold you all, but something is strange with this story. Something is off with this story. I don't know what is the truth pertaining to the disappearance of this young man, but I do know that things are not adding up pertaining to this story. And as you see in the queue, lots of people have so many videos pertaining to Riley. I'm going to play this one last video uploaded 2 hours ago by WKRN News 2, and then I'm going to check out of here. I want to thank you all so much for the network, commenting, taking the polls. But what I try to do with all the stories I bring to you, where there isn't an ending, is have you chop up the information, put it in tiny boxes, take it back out of the box and start it over, because there's always something that you miss. And as I always say, the truth is at the beginning of the story. You see, not the river, not walking by the river, not the homeless man, not the shirt, but Luke 32, because that's where all this started. And for some reason, somebody wants to glaze over what happened at that bar. The bar is the catalyst to the story, and the fact also that this guy got drunk. That's where you're going to find out how all this unfolded, is what happened at the bar. And you all should know by now there's something to the story, because nobody's talking about what happened in the bar. Everybody's glazing over that and jumping over to the river. But you wouldn't even have a river story or theory if there was no video surveillance to show him walking by and talking to the cop, speaking to the cop, phone pings. Something is off with this story. And somebody is not telling the truth for some strange reason. Why, I do not know. But this guy could not be at the southern part of Broadway. He could not be standing outside of Luke 32. He cannot also be over by the bridge. He's only one person. There is no way he's in 3 different places at the same damn time. So you got to ask yourself, do you believe all these versions? Because they can't be the truth, because he's only one person. Let's see what the friends and family have to say. Thank you all so much for joining me. Well, thought I wanted to upload some reason. 1 second, everybody. She's having a problem. She don't want to play. Well, always a malfunction, is it not?
Riley's family told us today they've seen new unreleased surveillance video of their son.
His stepfather says the video shows Riley briskly walking or jogging. It is from along Gay Street near his last known location. Today, volunteers set up a tent in that area to hand out flyers. Family friend Chris Dingman has helped connect the family with people who may have seen Riley that night. He says yesterday a couple reached out claiming they interacted with Riley before he went missing.
The couple that reached out and turned in reported the video that's literally down the corner from us right now, I was able to put the family together with them last night on a Zoom, FaceTime, and I got to talk to them, and it was phenomenal to get to talk to them, and I told them, I said, thank you for your compassion. You're the only one that we know during this entire journey that actually stopped to see how Riley was doing, and we thank him for it.
The family is urging anyone who recognizes themselves or someone they know in any of the surveillance video to please come forward and share whatever information they can.
Obviously, this story continues to develop every day. Find the latest information online at WKRN.com. Coverage is on our homepage.
All right, everybody. That's the latest. WKRN News 2 is the source. I want to thank you for your time. My update later on Friday will be pertaining to Carly Russell. She's an African-American female who was given probation in court yesterday in Alabama for exacting a hoax, pretending that she saw a child on a highway and was kidnapped by a Caucasian man and woman. Left her Mercedes-Benz running, stayed gone for 2 days, rumored to have stayed in a hotel. Don't know if she had help. I believe she did. And somehow she came out of the force and showed up at her parents' door by foot. Eventually, she admitted she lied, and she got her sentence yesterday in court. Probation, 100 hours of community service, and pay the city of Hoover, Alabama, $18,000 for a lie. So when you ask me, why would he lie? Why would he disappear on purpose? Ask that black girl the same question. Why did she lie? Why did she have people worried for 2 days? Why did Mrs. Papini lie out in California that she was kidnapped by Hispanic women? Abused herself to make it look like she had been held bondage? Don't never ask why. Ask why not. Because it goes back to what is. You don't know these people. And obviously the people who are dealing with them, they don't know them. You see, the reason why a few people are starting to think that this is not a real disappearance or a real death is because it's not adding up. And each day they're bringing you little bits of pieces of stuff that's contradictory to what somebody else has told you, and that's a problem. Because somebody's not telling the truth, and they're not telling the truth for a reason. And so what do they have to lose? Well, the reputation for one, frat members. Anything bad happens with a frat member, it affects the entire fraternity. You can lose your accreditation, you see. Luke 32, they could be cited by the Alcohol Commission for over-serving this man, serving him drunk, because I do believe he was already drunk when he got there. Allegedly, he had already been to 3 bars, or this was bar number 3. You want me to believe he was not already drunk when he walked in? I do believe he was. So there's your problem right there. Losing your bar license, having a bad name in the city. Now, God forbid he's found dead, these people could possibly get a lawyer and sue. So you see, somebody's got something to lose. And the fact that these people, these frat members also told somebody that they searched for him for 9 hours. You know damn well they ain't searched for that boy no 9 damn hours. Because 1, we don't even know what time they left Loop 32. 2, we don't know if they went to another bar. 3, we don't know what time they got back to the hotel. And most definitely, ain't no drunk persons out looking for another drunk person for 9 damn hours. So there's your lie right there. And I don't need a receipt to that. The only thing you want to do after you have drank for the night and ate is to go to bed. So if you'll lie about one thing, you'll lie about another. And whether they have any involvement in the disappearance of their frat brother, the point is they're not being truthful. And that's not good because he is missing, allegedly. So why not tell the truth about what you did and did not do and when you returned home and all this foolishness about finding his card and I thought he was in another room. So you didn't call the other guys' rooms and phones and say, hey, Riley over there with you? Riley over there with you? And then ask yourself this question. Why would Riley go sleep in another room when he has his own damn room or he's sharing a room with his bunkmate? See, I listen to everything. The only reason he would go sleep in another room would be he couldn't get in his own room. And allegedly you said he left his key behind. That's another version. But we already know he ain't never make it back to no room, allegedly, to be locked out of a room. You decide what's the truth or not. But something is off with this case. And my fear is that we're going to get another video and perhaps it will be this man walking around and it's daylight savings time. And then all hell's going to break loose. Because I don't know where this is going. Because I don't know what to believe pertaining to the information. He's over here, he's over here, he's over here, but yet you got documentation he couldn't have been here because he's over here. And then you got all these people wanting to be a part of this story, and you got to decide if what they've been telling law officials or other people in the street and the family is the truth. Because in the end, this story is just a version. Have you all not figured that out? He did this, he said this, he was doing this, he was doing this. But you don't have a receipt to nothing, except a few video clips and a phone going off radar, allegedly not dead, and then a phone ping at 11 per his frat friends, and we haven't had that proven yet by authorities. And God forbid it's proven that the phone was on back at 11 p.m. And if that sheriff's office is nowhere near that river, then you talk about a whole new problem. And then if you find out they lied about him being over at the sheriff's office, then you got to ask, why would they lie about the Snapchat ping? If you'd like to donate to this great network, $sign McAngie 129 Cash App, stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you all so much for your time. Prayers to the family. If you have any credible tips to his whereabouts or any information pertaining to March 8th, please call Crime Stoppers or the Nashville Police Department. Please do not call with any unreliable and theories, unreliable information, only information that is factual. I don't know where this case is going, but something is very off. Thank you, Sativa. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Something is terribly off with this case. And I am not, by any means, wanting to be a Debbie Downer. But when I start hearing things that can be debunked by CCTV footage, I have to just say what it is. That somebody's lying. And there's no way you're going to believe that all these security cameras that caught him running, skipping, hopping, walking disoriented, that they're all off. By what? An hour? Either an hour behind or an hour forward. Take your pick. And what would be the odds of different CCTV footage cameras being off their time? Have a good night, honey. Probably not. Is this woman telling the truth about seeing a homeless man with that shirt? Number one. Is there actually a homeless man with the shirt? If so, where is he and where's the shirt? And did the shirt have vomit on it? Okay? The versions that the frat brother, Mr. Boss, told law enforcement, 911, cannot be the truth if you're going to believe the CCTV footage. Do you believe the CCTV footage? Do you believe this man is in the river somewhere? Upstream, downstream? Or do you believe this man was hurt on land? Because as I've told many people, there's no way he could have been hurt on land, because then you have to find out a way to discard the body. And how are you going to discard a body walking around? And what are you going to carry it in, tote it in? So then you have to assume what? He got hurt right there at that bridge. But then yet his phone allegedly is pinging at 11, which means the phone was turned back on. Say, well, so either he turned it back on or somebody else had access to his phone. What is the truth? Thank you for joining me. You have been listening to The Vault XL. Prayers to the family.